everyone, welcome to the first week of virtual camp for Camp Morty. I am Elle. I was meant to be at camp this year too, but instead I'm in England, as you can probably tell by my voice, and I'm going to be doing arts and crafts and creative writing things, as well as a few science experiments over the next couple of weeks. So today we are doing Blackout poetry, which is one of my favourite ways to start out with poetry, and it's also a really good way to get over writer's block when you're staring at the page and you don't know what to write. Everything that you need is in your box, so you have a couple of printed out book pages. You just have to pick one of those for now, whichever one you think you'll like best. And then you have a black marker and some coloured markers as well for doodling. And also you have a piece of construction paper, because at the end, if you want to, you can cut out your poem and stick it on the construction paper. And to do that, you have scissors and glue. So just a little bit of background on Blackout poetry. So Blackout poetry is, it's also known as found poetry, but it's basically when you find all the words on the page in front of you. Read a piece of text, whether that's in a textbook, a magazine, a book. Obviously get permission before you write all over someone's book if it's not yours. But we have printed out copies in your box, so it's all good. And basically it's finding the words on the page that you like, and then traditionally you can use a black marker to colour out the rest. You can use a black marker to colour in the rest of the text so that you just have the words that you picked to make a poem. You can also draw on it, which you'll see I do in a bit. And basically it's a really fun way if you're stuck or you're starting to write poetry for the first time. So let's get into it. For the icebreaker, we are thinking of our favourite word, so that one should be quite fun. Of course, during the main activity or the icebreaker, if you want to have a pause, that's absolutely fine. I'd recommend to pause it as you're going along, because I do time-lapse the videos so they go quicker than I did in real life. Yes, I'm really excited to be making videos, and I hope you enjoy Blackout poetry.
Okay, for our first task, we are going to think about words. I would love you to pick your favourite word and put it in the middle of the page in big letters. You could use a black marker here or any of the other markers in your box. It could take a while to think of your favourite word, because it took me ages, but it helps if you try and think of one that makes you feel a certain way, because words hold a lot of emotions and feelings, both in the way they sound and also the images we associate with them, so the pictures and the ideas that you think of when you hear the word out loud or when you read it in a book. So the word I have picked is beaming. So here I've put that in the middle of my page in big bold letters, and then I'm going to create a mind map around a normal pen. And I've put here that it makes me feel happy and positive and hopeful. And it sort of reminds me of the colour yellow, because it reminds me of sort of a glow from the word, and it reminds me of light. And then on here I've started to put down that it makes me think of light and moons and stars and suns and sort of like the reflection of light. So sort of think about what you imagine in your head when you hear the word and why, and you can sort of doodle around those when you get time afterwards. And then I've also thought about another way that beaming can be used when you're writing or speaking and using the word. So it can mean when someone's smiling a lot. So I've put that down because it sort of fits with my happy theme and the positivity that the word, I think, holds. And then I went in and drew some pictures and also used a yellow marker to decorate my mind map, because it sort of reflects how the word makes me feel, and also that's just the fun bit, isn't it? So then just decorate it a little bit. And I think that thinking about our favourite words is a really, really good way to start off Blackout poetry, because thinking about words and what they mean and why they feel interesting and important is part of Blackout poetry because it's all about finding anchor words, which we mentioned before, which are the words that we feel are the most important on the page that we want to pick out. So this exercise has helped us to figure out how to fit together words and make them into a story because we've looked at their meaning. So that's the mind map, and now we can get on to the Blackout poetry. Okay, so first I'm going to go through a few different steps for Blackout poetry, and then we can get started and we can do it together. Picking the words and building your poem will probably take longer than this video lasts, so make sure to pause it as you go along and we can carry on doing the different steps together. So step number 1 is to read the poem. So you want to read the poem once or twice for enjoyment, to get a feel of what it's about and how it makes you feel. And then you want to read it a couple of more times, maybe once or twice, actively. So when I say active reading, it means you usually do it with a pencil or a pen. A pencil's good because you can rub it out, and then you can select the different words as you're going along. When you're reading actively, it means you're thinking about how the words are making you feel and which words you might want to pick. Step number 2 is outlining the words. So here, like I said, with your pencil, it'll be great if you can look for words that, like we did in the previous one, that make you feel happy or sad or make you feel some sort of emotion. So I'm saying anchor words here. So as we mentioned, they're called anchor words because they're the words that you find the most important or key in the text. So you're going to outline them. I find it easier if you do them with a little box around them, but you can underline them too. And then the third step is to get creative. So on this step, you can literally take it in any direction you want. So for mine, I decided to do the traditional Blackout poetry where you use a thick black marker all around the words. And then I also drew a picture, which you'll see in a minute. So here you can colour, doodle, draw, you can draw shapes around your words, you can completely black out around the words, you can literally do anything that you think matches your poem. And then on the top, I've said, remember to sign your poem, because that's so important, because it's your creation and you want everyone to know that you've made it. So here is a little time lapse of me creating my poem. So first off, I'm getting my pencil and outlining the phrases that I liked on the page, and then I got my black marker and outlined them. I found it quite hard to pick my phrases at first and my words, but sometimes you just have to read them out loud or go over them a few times to make sure that they all fit together in the way that you want to. So on this particular piece, which you will have in your box, it is about trust, and this page has sort of the idea of going down a slide and trusting someone that you'll be okay, which I thought was a really cool image, so I wanted to use that in my poem. So you'll see that I do an image of a slide, and then here I'm just checking that they all fit together and going over them with the black marker. Here I smudged it, but it's all good. I came up with a solution. Sometimes mistakes happen. So I put lines over the top. And then I go in with the orange marker, so I used a coloured marker to spell out the word trust, which was the title of my poem. which I decided would be the title. The title doesn't have to go at the top of the page. I really liked that it was in the middle and that I used the coloured pens to make it stand out. And then I drew a slide at the top and someone going down the slide just because I thought it looked cool. And I highlighted the question mark with the orange pen as well. I liked the way that the black and orange look together. And carry on connecting the line. You can use your black pen to completely black out the background, or you can draw lines or shapes or doodle. So I'm adding to my person at the top, and I put a question mark at the bottom to match the other orange, and then I sign the top of it. And this is my final poem. So in your box you'll have some black construction paper, which you can cut out your poem and then stick it on. You have scissors and glue in your box. But for me, I didn't have any black construction paper to hand, so I did mine on the background of orange construction paper, and then I just doodled around it, which you can do around your poem. You can cut it a bit wider to leave yourself a bit more space to doodle. I did some question marks because it was all about questioning and wondering and curiosity, and wondering whether you can trust someone. So that's what I did. I used black marker and then I used a regular pen. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I really like it. I like how the orange and black work together, and I really like my poem. So this is the final product. I would recommend to read it out after you've done it. It's really cool when you can read out your final poem, and share it with anyone you can because you've created it. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I've really enjoyed making it. It's been so much fun, and I really hope you've enjoyed doing the Blackout poetry. I think it's a really fun activity. And you have a couple more pieces in your box which you can have a go at on your own. And I would love you to post your pictures up on Instagram and tag us at Camp Morty, or to email Mary at the address mary@campmorty.com. That would be so cool if you could share them, and it would be like we're at camp. Okay, I hope you have a lovely rest of the day, and I will see you next time.